Okay, welcome back. And our guest, as I said, just before we went away, is Honorable Andrew Emwanta, constitutional lawyer and former Commissioner for Information in Edo State. And in the time that we've been away, well, first of all, some issues have been set up. How legal was the entire process? The man himself, Philip Shaibu, has said that it's illegal. He says it's undemocratic. And those are the sentiments being voiced by our guest, Honorable Emwanta, this morning. But in the meantime, Mazi Okoroa for Inarochukwu has called in. So I'll come to you, Honorable, after hearing from Mazi.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, our guest.
Good morning, Mazi.
Well, sir, thank God. The day is coming, the month is coming, solar is coming, everybody, thank God. But the Edo State issue is that the governor approach of things there is undemocratic. If you look at the whole thing, if you look at the whole research work that has been going on between that years since the problem started, there are two cardinal things that affect Nigerian politics, which the politicians should try as much as possible and address it. But if they ignore it, I bet you all this will continue lingering. Not only in the this one is not the last one. Power and money. And I want to find out from Nigerians, is there anybody in this country that will tell me that it's coming from a golden spoon home? Everybody in this country, all the governor, past and present, all of that, they're just coming from a very poor home. Just an opportunity happened, and they are there. That does not mean the opportunity happened to you, you are there. You just remove the ladder. That is what has happened in this. Now, what is the Christian faith you are projecting? Now, we have to be very careful with our politicians, not only the governors. Because one, what the governor did, what he could allow, they have only few months to go. He could allow the young man so they will be floating till the end of the day, go peacefully. But this one is not a stigma to the governor, now it's also a stigma to the Shaibu. But the thing is this. Now look at Senegal. How old is the young man? Is he not 44 years? Now look at the people at the House of Assembly there, and even the deputy speaker himself, who is a lady. Look at these are young boys and young girls in that place. Now, instead of them to sit down and approach the governor and say, look, let's do this one, you just sit down and can't get rid of this. Simultaneously, as the court was impeaching him, the other man was saying it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because the politics there have now bastardized everything. Look at the young man. He jumped from Labour Party, it's now PDP. Is that politics? It's not politics. But
all right then, Mazi. Okay, Mazi. Your point has been taken, sir. Thank you very much for calling in. Honorable Emwanta, the key point in all of this, from the point of view of Philip Shaibu, is what he has called as a reckless, not to mention wrong use of power, and that all of this is because he was interested. Maybe the word should be he is interested in vying for the governorship of Edo State. So this whole matter about dictatorial tendencies, that seems to be where you are at too. That seems to be what you are seeing, going by what you have said already.
Of course, that's it. It is what it is. The governor has proven to the whole world that he's a dictator, that he does not respect the rule of law. And let me quickly add that I was talking about the chief judge. This is a man that the National Judicial Council recommended 8 persons for appointment as judges. He was even copied by the Chief Justice of Nigeria for him to ensure that these people are sworn in and for him to inform the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Yet, the man keeps collecting money by way of capital votes from the governor. He has refused to tell the governor that there's need for these 8 persons to be sworn in. We have friends who are judges. They complain daily that the 8 vacuums that have been created is such that the workload on the present crop of judges in Edo State is neck-breaking. But this same chief judge, you see him very active in the impeachment
Honorable
process.
Emwanta, because you are a lawyer, Honorable Emwanta,
of the Constitution, a desecration of the Constitution.
An officer in the Temple of Justice, and your conventions are what they are. So I feel sort of secure. I don't need to advise you on, how to moderate what you say in relation to the bench. The bench is the bench. And people are not given to speaking about the bench anyhow. So, but I take solace in the fact that you're a lawyer yourself.
When they jump into the arena, the political arena, we treat them as the way politicians are treated. Because the way he has acted, he has violated his oath, and the petition, of course, is being prepared to the National Judicial Council. We must call a spade a spade. We talk of the executive, we complain about what they have done. The House of Assembly, as a rubber stamp of some what they have done. Then what the judiciary has done, particularly the chief judge, he's just one out of many. And we are saying that we are not comfortable with him. He's acting politically and not judicially. And we must call a spade a spade. And that's
Let me bring Benga in. Benga is in Abuja. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Yori, and good morning to the Honorable.
Yes.
I want to disagree with the Honorable first, that Obaseki worked with Labour Party. That's why PDP could. That's why Labour Party won the presidential election in Edo State. No. Rather, the wind of obedience blew in PDP off in Edo State. Another thing was trying to prevent that to happen in the governorship election. That's why he went to pick a candidate of Labour Party that conducted election. The deputy governor now came to PDP about 7 months ago. When he finished his case, he could not recover. He could not get it at the tribunal. So Obaseki he brought the man in, so bred the rank up a Labour Party in Edo State. Obaseki knew that what happened in the presidential could happen again in the governorship, and he want to break the rank. Remember that the Akoko Edo side is able to get them under the PDP. So Obaseki did not work for Labour Party. Rather, he is trying to make sure that they did not to get their vote on his side, because he knows that they did not perform very well. Obaseki and Shaibu did not perform in the last 3 or 4 years ago, and that he could lose the governorship. And that is his political tactics. So I disagree with your colleague that he worked with Labour. No, the wind of obedience was the one that affected PDP. Secondly, I'm surprised that he is talking like this. When Obaseki and Shaibu are together fighting Oshiomhole, this Honorable, I know all the language he spoke against what is his name, Oshiomhole, against APC, defending Obaseki action, defending all they did. So what has come now is a lot of karma paying on him and his paymaster Shaibu, who worked for that time against Oshiomhole.
These kind of terminologies I'm receiving this morning. Which one is paymaster? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Benga. Today is one of those kind of days. Well, first of all, he just called you, he just referred to a paymaster of yours. Would you like to comment on that?
The last person, I would not want to join issues with him because he was talking out of ignorance. We who are in Edo State, who are politicians in Edo State, we know the role Obaseki played in empowering Labour Party. Abure, we know how many times Obaseki flew him into Benin. We know the fact that Labour Party people in the House of Assembly, Obaseki bought all the forms because the fear was that the legacy PDP people will win in court, right? And in the event that PDP, that's the old PDP members, the Danomi faction, have their way, what that becomes Obaseki's fate. And that was why he quickly sponsored Labour Party candidates. I was one of those he offered the ticket, and I rejected it. So if he's talking out of ignorance. I don't join issues with people like that. Did I not admit on this program that we supported Obaseki and we made the mistake of supporting him, that is even worse than Oshiomhole? There's nobody who is not, is there anybody above mistake? It is a former American president, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, that said, an error does not become a mistake until we refuse to correct it. We made an error, and that's why we want to correct it before it becomes a mistake. Obaseki was the head of Oshiomhole's
economic. You're saying that you made a mistake in fighting Oshiomhole. You're saying that you're admitting that you made a mistake in fighting Oshiomhole.
No. We are not saying that we made a mistake in saying that Obaseki was wrongfully, made to leave the party. No. I said we made a mistake in supporting him because he was chameleonic. We never knew he had those dictatorial tendencies in him, right? If the way he's behaving was pre-2020 election, we would not have supported him. We didn't know that he has these tendencies to violate provisions of the Constitution, of illegally removing the deputy governor before they even finally impeached him. He evicted Shaibu from government house. For the past 8 months, the man has not been getting allowances. There's no right way to do the wrong thing. There's no proper way to do what is wrong in law. And that is what we must condemn. I was the one that mentioned earlier that even what Shaibu is going through is because he, at some point, was in cahoots with Obaseki. And Obaseki will also meet his karma. His tenure will end November 11 this year. And from November 12, he loses his immunity. He becomes an ordinary citizen. There are 14 members who were prevented from sitting. Certain allegations were made to the Code of Conduct Tribunal Bureau, but nothing has happened. There's a new leadership there. We expect Mr. President. I can tell you that in Edo State, development is on his head. He uses consultants. There are no procurement laws that are obeyed by Obaseki. So there are too many infractions that we know that by the time he leaves, just like Godwin Emefiele, Godwin Obaseki will face the full wrath of the law. He will definitely face the full wrath of the law come November 12 this year. He will not be governor beyond November 12 this year.
Let me bring in Ernest. Ernest is calling in from Abule Egba in Lagos. Good morning, Ernest.
Yeah, good morning, Okweri.
Thank you for calling in.
And
Go
good
ahead,
morning
please.
to your guest.
Yes.
Honorable. In as much as I want to state that, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please continue.
Yes, in as much as I want to state that some of the positions maintained by your guest represent the actual position of things in Edo State. However, it must be stated that the attitude of Mr. Andrew with respect to the judiciary is uncalled for and it's unnecessary because he is a minister in the Temple of Justice. And if there is any issue he's having with the judiciary, there are channels to ventilate such grievances. And as a minister in the Temple of Justice, he does not speak well that he is casting aspersion to this temple which he belongs. So I think he should be guided in that regard.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. You didn't say so, but I might, assume that you yourself might be a legal practitioner for you to bring up that particular point. That's the point that you wanted to bring up. So that caller, Honorable Andrew, he said he flows with everything you've been saying, except for the part where it's not the kind of language that ministers in the Temple of Justice are used to either expressing or hearing. But you've spoken about that, so I don't think we need to. You've spoken about that. You say that, look, in your view, when people in that hallowed temple, when they, then venture into other arenas, you feel that it is fair game for you to speak as you did. Okay. Now, where are we now? Purportedly, this is a fait accompli, and I use that expression simply because you pointed out that the deputy governor that we have now, that is Omobayo Marvelous Godwin, was not even presented to the State House of Assembly for ratification. So he's in there now. Also, the matter is in court on behalf of former Deputy Governor Shaibu. It is for the courts to now pronounce. How soon do you think all of this, we can get clarity on all of this? Because we're working in a very narrow time frame. Here we are, mid-April. By November, this administration is over. So give us what you seem to see as the way it is going to be here. Will Omobayo Marvelous Godwins, will he continue? Will he continue right up until the end, or do you expect that the court shall reinstate what you are referring to as rights that were taken away from, Shaibu? But in the meantime, is that kind of a program? Tell me again who is on the line. Somebody has come on the line. Tell me. Luke has come on the line. Luke in Port Harcourt has come on the line. So let's hear it from Luke. Good morning, Luke.
Good morning. Good morning. It has always been good talking with you.
Please go ahead quickly.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you very well. Please go ahead quickly with the point you wanted to make.
My own concern is that I want to tell your guest, please, we should just concentrate with
Shaibu and Obaseki. Let's not bring any dead lion into the issue. If you are analyzing, please let us be straight on the matter that is being discussed.
All right.
That's the concern. No, the really talk I want to mention is that, as I am very happy that I am speaking to a lawyer. And the way we are behaving in this country, the way we are handling constitutional matters in this country, I am afraid, and so many times I cry, if we will leave a country for the future generation. Sir, it has been a thing of concern when the way some people who think that they have superpower are dealing with constitutional matters. And as a lawyer, I am very, very ashamed that you people are divided about these issues of constitution. When it comes to constitutional matter, where all of you supposed to be in a point, but are divided based on what is said and how it's said. Then that's by the way, but I am saying that the way those state politics is playing, they are playing with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We supported Obaseki. I know how many times I have attended those political meetings in Port Harcourt here, just to make sure that we mobilize and vote for Obaseki. I know how many times we have celebrated the victory that Obaseki sustained. But the way it turned out now is that we are not happy here in Rivers State the way Shaibu is being sidelined. Where it is very clear that everybody has the right to contest in any platform. But we are not saying that the Constitution or human rights of a certain person should be violated just.
All right, then. I'm going to have to leave it there, Luke, but I thank you very much for calling in. Now, Honorable Andrew Emwanta, the question that I posed, how do you see this proceeding now? Because you're a constitutional lawyer, and you have stated that this is totally against the constitutional rights of the person concerned. So how do you see it proceeding?
Yeah, thank you. The matter in court, the gravamen revolve around the provisions of Section 36 of the 1999 Constitution, which talks about the right of fair hearing. As a constitutional lawyer, I see it as a novel case. It is the citizens that come out crying that government has violated their rights. So for the first time in the history of our country, we've seen the deputy governor go to court to complain that his own right to fair hearing has been violated. And that's very unique. And I think the court for the first time will be looking at a very unique case. He didn't sue as Philip Shaibu, he sued as the deputy governor of Edo State. So the question is, because they were in a hurry, they quickly impeached him. He's still the deputy governor in the eye of the law. The court will still regard him as deputy governor because the court gave an order, that order was violated. So would they say the case has abated? Because the case in court is between the deputy governor of Edo State and the IGP. We knew they withdrew his security, that was how we joined the IGP. So it's a very novel case that the court will decide. And that will decide whether we are ready for democracy or not. Because in a situation where a deputy governor's rights are being violated, then what is now the hope of the common man? And that's my grounds. I have nothing against the judiciary. The judiciary is supposed to be seen as the last hope of the common man. But if the last hope of the common man now swears in an illegal person to replace somebody who is in court to enforce his rights, I think it is for Nigerians to decide. The court of public opinion should decide that.
Okay, let me bring on our last caller today, Kennedy in Port Harcourt still. Good morning, Kennedy.
Mr. Yori, good morning to you and good morning to my very, beautiful, learned, legal man in your studio. I want to particularly address you, Mr. Yori, and it is a grudge I have put against just everybody who speaks on behalf of our so-called, I use the language so-called without apology. I use the language so-called without apology. Our so-called public office holder who are put in office to serve the populace and not their selfish, egotistic interests. Now, when they fall short of the respect that is due them, when they fall short of the respect that their office commands and they decide to come to the open space to wash their dirty linen, we should not be cautious of what name to call them, because those names are just the name that befits them. They've thrown away every privilege to be referred to as honorable and treated as such. So when they come to the public space and the public who repose so much confidence in them choose to call them whatever name they call them, please, you should stop speaking on their behalf. Because when you speak on their behalf, it makes nonsense of the whole fact that they are going there to serve their interest instead of the interest of the populace which they are put there to serve. Please, that should stop. I am addressing you personally, Mr. Yori. Do not speak on their behalf. What name they should be called.
All right then. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your call and everything. It's your right. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about rights, and that's the way you see it. But the point that I did make, you yourself have alluded to, that there are certain conventions, and when you hear those conventions or you see them being breached, you might comment on that and leave it as that. Indeed, in relation to how the judiciary is spoken of and is spoken about, that's a no-brainer. But having said that, there was a comeback, and there has been no comeback since then. So, but thank you very much, Kennedy. I take the point that you are making. It's not really about me personally, but it's probably about all anchors, moderators who lay it on the mid course, and then everybody else can come in and have their say, which will not be bad. But thank you very much again for calling in, Kennedy in Port Harcourt. And I also to thank Honorable Andrew Emwanta for being quite clear about his position on this. The position, not surprisingly, mirrors that of the removed deputy governor. Now, all of this will be tested in court. So, as I said, just to thank you very much, Honorable Andrew Emwanta, for coming on our program. Indeed, if the other side wants the right... Thank you for having me. Our pleasure. If the other side wants the right of response, they should get in touch with us, and it is their right. We give everybody their right. We like to hear it from all sides of a given issue. That's our program. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Iyori Folare. Bye-bye for now.